Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, co-author of Conversations with Top Real Estate Investors Volume 3, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, your host for Munira's Musings, coming to you live. Of course, this is a Facebook Live. Trying to be funny after some tears that we've shared, but I'm grateful today for being here. And my friend here, Susan Zartman, my guest and friend, she's going to teach us how to lose weight the most effective way and be healthy. So I know you all are looking forward to this conversation. Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your musings.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's always a pleasure to have a guest as enthusiastic as you. And, let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what Munira's Musings is. I am Munira Zahabi. I live in Chicago. And I am the niche navigator. I help coaches and business entrepreneurs on their journey to find their niche. This is something amazing. It's a journey. You know, everybody's got to have a niche because you can't go into business without knowing. And the thing is, it's a cornerstone of your business, because if you go in and do not do any research about anything that you want to do, you will fail eventually, and we don't want that to happen. We want success to kiss your feet at every time. So if you do your homework and figure out your niche, that's the best part. And that's what I do. I help coaches and business entrepreneurs find and market to their niche. Munira's Musings is a show that applauds people who found their niche, and we talk to them about their trials, tribulations, their niches, how they found it, why they found it, and what is it that they do with the gift they've received. And most people have evolved from their original niche, and you know, it's an evolvement. You become different a little after a few years along the line, but some people stay with the same niche because it brings them happiness, and that's part of the whole puzzle, is be happy. So from passion to profession, right? That's what it is all about. So without further ado, let's talk to Susan about what her niche is, how she found it. And first, before we ask you all those questions, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm here in Ohio, and I was born and raised here. I've always lived here. And my initial passion was, I've always loved music. So I actually have a degree in music. That's what I went after. I've always loved helping people. So whether I was in an office and serving people by typing things or doing things, or going out and helping, folks as they needed things, I've always had a passion for that. But I've also always struggled with my weight. And I was heavy from as long as I can remember. And I started doing diets and trying to lose weight when I was in probably junior high, and did all kinds of things. So for me, that's been like a lifelong struggle that I kind of never thought I'd figure out and be able to conquer. And I moved here to Columbus, Ohio back in 1986, and have lived here ever since. And it's been thankful to see the path that God's taken me on.
That's awesome. So your talk today, you're going to share about your weight loss. I think, is it okay if we dive right into that? So I have another question. You said you moved to Ohio. Where from?
Well, I've always been in Ohio, but I grew up in the Dayton area, so I was there. And then I went to college in Bowling Green, which is north of that. And then in 1986, I ended up moving here to Columbus. So I've been in Columbus really most of my adult life, but I've always been in Ohio.
Okay. Well, that's okay. So you are a true Ohioan.
I am. Go Bucks.
Okay. So tell us about your niche.
Well, my niche really does come down to the whole focus on weight. Like I said, as far back as I can remember, that's always been a frustration for me. And man, I'd tried diet, I'd tried exercise and everything I could, and I'd pretty much given up on that. And a little over 4 years ago, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. And I didn't know what to do. My doctor wanted me to consider bariatric surgery, and I knew that wasn't the answer. My sister had actually had gastric bypass, and I knew that unless you learned how to change your mind, that's not a long-term change. It's another short-term solution. And so a friend of mine, I was really like the next 6 months, I was really praying, what in the world do I do? And I knew whatever I would do had to be something that could be a lifestyle. Like you just can't keep doing this one thing after another, because it wasn't every time you lose weight, I'd put more back on and put it all back on, and then more. It just kept, getting bigger, and I couldn't afford to get any bigger. That was not a good place, but I didn't know what to do. So a friend of mine introduced me to an awesome program. And so October of 2014, I started doing this program. And it really teaches you all about health and wellness, and you're learning how to eat and to develop habits, so that just small changes will help you to be able to get to a healthy weight and then thrive and be healthy. And so over the next year and a half, I lost 137 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of totally changed my life. And I'd been working in an office job. I'd been there over 19 years and started helping some of my friends, and it just kept growing. So 2 years ago, the other thing I lost was that full-time job. I was able to leave and become a full-time coach and be able to pursue that, helping other people. And it's been really an awesome journey that continues.
No, you know what? That's awesome, because there's so many people struggling out there, right? And, doctors, I'm going to talk about my own self, is that I've always remained the same weight, a few pounds up and a few down, but it's the same, the average has always stayed the same. But when you go to a physician, they want you to have lost weight, and you need to lose weight. And it's like, I can't. There's no way in hell I can do this. Like you said, there's a constant struggle. So what is the secret formula that you have that worked for you that doesn't work for me? I need to know these things.
It really all comes down to learning how to eat properly. And we eat every 2 to 3 hours. So pretty much I eat 6 times a day, and everything is always balanced. So you want to have protein with your carbs. And so you're just eating the right portions there throughout the day. And it's just kind of like you got a fireplace going there. And if you have a fire, you got to put a log on it every once in a while to keep that burning. And so just kind of doing that, it just keeps you going, and you're satisfied when you have the right foods. So we do a program where 5 of your meals in a day are just smaller, and we actually incorporate some things that we call fuelings, because they're portion controlled, they're prepackaged. It just makes it easy, because I'll tell you what, I didn't have time to shop, cook, prepare, or the discipline. I could never have lost that kind of weight if I'd have had to do all that. The doctor that is the co-founder of our program, he wrote it where you can go out and do that if you want to, and it works. But it's like, okay, that was just too overwhelming. So that just really helped a whole lot. And then 1 meal a day you're doing, we call it a lean and green. So you're eating lean protein and non-starchy vegetables. And what happens is your whole goal, it's all in the low glycemic index. So you're balancing those blood sugars. And instead of like, if you're eating something like a donut in the morning, your blood sugar spikes way up and then you crash. And then you go and you have that orange juice. Whatever you're doing, so many people are so heavy on the sugars and carbs that they're just constantly doing this horrible, up and down pattern, where our whole goal is to just kind of make it a nice little wave. So you're just kind of real balanced. And the awesome side effects of having your blood sugars in balance are weight loss. They are having more energy. And a lot of people report also sleeping better. I just think, and it's just really exciting. And it's not just the weight loss, it is health. So does that kind of give you an idea?
Oh, yes. I like that. So you mentioned prepackaged foods, right? Now I understand so let's talk about prepackaged, because I have another question too.
Sure.
I have to write it down before I forget. So prepackaged foods. So is this something like Nutrisystem that's out there that, you send us prepackaged foods, those of us who are interested?
It's that kind of an idea, but our program has actually been around since 1980. And for the first 20 years, it was only available through doctors' offices. And what's exciting is like John Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health have done research and really just given our program so much validity and shown that it works. And it started out where the doctor who's our co-founder, his name is Dr. Anderson, and he's the 10th board certified critical care doctor in the country. And he was the head of a critical care department at actually the hospital in Dayton, Ohio. I had no connection with that, but I think it's kind of fun that he was from in Ohio. But he just saw people coming into his ER time and again that were there because of lifestyle choices. And he really felt frustrated because as a doctor, he wanted to help people be healthy. And he just felt like he was putting a Band-Aid on some major problems that could have totally been avoided. And he saw medicine really becoming a big business, that it was always reactive instead of being proactive and helping people be healthy. So in 2000, he and his wife resigned their positions, and she was a nurse anesthetist. People thought they were crazy. I mean, he's given up this, pretty prestigious position at a hospital and going out and doing what? And he just did tons and tons of research. He wrote a number of books, and one of them became a New York Times bestseller called Discover Your Optimal Health. And said he did all the findings. And what he found, like I said, his ideal thing would be, go out and eat all whole foods. But for most of us, if you've got 100 pounds to lose or a lot of weight to lose, having the discipline and ability to do that, it was too hard. So that's why he ended up finding this company that's been around, and it's a New York Stock Exchange traded company that has been on the Forbes most trusted company list. It's just that got that credibility, and they've done so many improvements to really make these, although they're prepackaged, it's not your typical processed foods. When you think processed, you think of it being pretty low in nutrients, and you think of it being chemically washed and all those kind of things, where they've got a process going where it's a water wash kind of process, and it's more dehydration so that you have all the health benefits. And it includes the vitamins and minerals and probiotics, so that when you're eating, you're getting everything, and your body, it's healthy. And said for me, the weight loss is really excited. And of course you can see that in people's lives. But what really makes me excited is to see people that they were diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and their doctor wanted them to go on insulin, and they didn't have to because they got those under control. Or I've got people that have been able to get off of some medicines, and we don't make any medical guarantees or any medical claims. Everybody's going to be different, but the results speak for themselves, and it's pretty exciting to see. I've got all kinds of stories with some of my clients that have gone from being pretty kind of scared of the futures and what the doctors were telling them, and having really bad blood reports, and then going on our program and seeing those things change. And they're learning how to have those habits. And the prepackaged stuff, it's just a tool. It's to make that process easy and to teach us how to eat. What is it like to have a portion controlled meal? You don't have to have this massive meal to be satisfied. All of a sudden you learn, if you eat the right things, it doesn't take a whole lot, that you feel satisfied and you feel good. And so that, it's all just kind of a training thing. And then once you get to your healthy weight, you wean off of those. Or you can still, I like to still use them some because it's convenient, it's easy, I like them. So they're healthy. I still don't want to have to cook, shop, and prepare 6 meals a day. And so that's really the thinking behind it. It's like, if you could go out there and do all that on your own, go for it. But there are very few of us that have that time or energy.
So you said the company has been around since 1987, right?
1980.
1980, okay. So, so there must have been a lot of success stories.
Oh yeah, tons and tons. And for the longest time, those first 20 years, it really was more of a diet that doctors would offer their patients. They lost weight. It was great, and it worked for that. But what Dr. Anderson found, and when he partnered with them, he came along and said, you know what? You're missing just a couple things here to make, because our goal isn't just to have you lose weight. Losing weight's usually the first step for a lot of people to get healthy. But the real goal is to have that long-term success and to stay healthy. And so he said, how about I come along and I train up an army of health coaches, people that are coaches for the company that will come alongside and help the people that are on the program to be successful, to answer their questions. They've been through it, so they understand and can support. And then we build a healthy community. we weren't meant to do any of this alone. And so we've got some Facebook groups, and there's like calls people can get on, or and just ways to connect even locally in different markets where you can, have that support for each other. And then we use a couple of his books there to help us to have that mental shift. And so we're learning those healthy habits, and those habits are what keep us going. So that eating 6 times a day is a healthy habit that keeps you going strong. So whether you're eating the products from our company or you're cooking on your own, that's one of the lifestyle choices. Drinking water is another really important thing. And it makes such a difference in our bodies. And most people that I talk to, they don't drink enough water. There are some that do, but very few get at least 64 ounces in a day. And that's so important for all of our body. And even things like, hey, trying to reduce stress in our lives. So many of us take that on. So we're trying to get some of those mental shifts where you're learning how to even stop and take a deep breath and, kind of release some of that stress, and then getting a good night's sleep. That's like so important. And if you aren't getting enough sleep, you're probably not going to be very good at losing weight either, because that's part of the process. Your body needs to heal and recharge itself. So those are all kind of things that we're trying to learn as we go along, and just make it focused. And none of us are perfect. I am far from perfect, but it's always just trying to be those little steps and getting better all the time.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So, of course, there's a cost involved, but I'm going to ask you one of the questions before we go there is, tell me, each person you said is different, right? Everybody's body needs are different. So do they then analyze each person and create a different plan for them, or is the meal the same?
It depends on what the person wants to accomplish. When somebody has an interest, I invite them to get on a call with me, and we kind of do just a health assessment, find out where they are and what they want to accomplish. There's some people that they're just trying to learn how to eat a little healthier, and they don't really need to lose any weight. And then there's other people that are on the whole spectrum all over the place. So we want to find out, and we also want to find out, are you currently on some medications that we need to be aware of? And so we're finding out a lot of those kind of questions. And then we have a number of programs that then we can come back and suggest, well, I think this one would be what would serve you the best. The majority of people do need to lose. I would say probably most people need to lose at least 15 pounds or more. Not everybody, but a lot of them do. And so from that case, there's a program that most people do. And it really doesn't matter if a person is a woman that weighs 160 pounds or if it's a guy that weighs 350 pounds. It's kind of amazing because when you're eating on our program, on the 5-in-1 program is what we call it, you actually are in a state of fat burn. And it means your system has gone from using all the glycogen and the sugars that are in your liver as the fuel to using your fat as fuel. So that's why the big guy and the littler woman can eat the exact same thing in a day, not be hungry, not have cravings. But it's also why guys lose a whole lot faster, because it's tapping into those fat reserves. It's just not fair. They always lose faster on about whatever plan, right? Yeah. And so it is kind of amazing how that works. But we do definitely talk, because we do a service. So as a coach, we want to find out, what does a person want and what are they willing to do and that kind of thing. Because if you just give them some plan and they don't want to do it, it's not going to be, I want people that are ready to make changes and are willing to make changes. Otherwise, I don't want them. I'm not trying to sell them anything, because you know what? That doesn't work. We want to serve them and help them achieve their goals.
I see. Okay, so service based.
Yeah.
And so that's a good. So what is the cost?
The cost, well, again, it depends on what a person wants to accomplish. So it depends on if they are the full weight loss kind of program that they're really wanting to lose things. For most of us, find that because you're using these fuelings from the company, it ends up being kind of cost neutral for most people, because they aren't going out to eat as much. Their grocery bill goes way down and stuff. So on average, I would say if you're on the full program, it's maybe about $100 a week. And that's why you're in the weight loss program. But it's like, you know what? You spend that a lot of times between Starbucks and the vending machines. And it's amazing how those dollar sundaes at McDonald's can add up in a week. It's like, One of my bad things that I used to do. Well, so anyway, but then again, it depends on which program that you want to go for. But that's the one the majority are doing and finding the success on.
Okay, so you stand by the program, you teach other people, and you support them in this journey. How long do you think that if a person who needs to lose 15 pounds, I know I'm not talking about guys here, just the women, because they take longer. So do you think, when do you start seeing the results?
Oh, you see it right away. So, I always say, you'll know in the first week if it's for you. You will feel so much better and you will see changes on the scale. And women, everybody likes it varies, but on average, women typically lose about 10 pounds a month. And so it really goes pretty quick. And that first couple of weeks, you tend to see a little bit higher because your body's kind of getting rid of a lot of water. So you see some pretty good results those first couple of weeks. And then it keeps going. It's very steady. It's predictable. So it's not like, I remember going to certain programs here in town and you'd be like, oh, I lost 2 ounces. It's like, oh boy, if you lost a pound a month, you were like going, woohoo. And it's like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard. And it's like, I look back now and go, oh my gosh. So it does. And I said, there are different variables with different people, but it's pretty consistent with the women doing about 10 pounds a month. So if you got 15 pounds, it could take you a couple months maybe or less.
Well, that's a lot of information right there. But it makes sense, right? Because, and again, we know that, small meals and what to eat is the key, right? Because you could eat junk food and then pretend that I'm eating 6 meals a day and I'm eating junk food and I'm not losing any weight. But you need to lose the weight in the right way. So I like it. And again, I had a question and I forgot about it. But, it happens. I'm having a senior moment today. But I like the fact. So I like the fact that, and you said it takes about, we can see the results right away. So is there a money back guarantee sometimes on this program?
Yeah, there is. It's like they know that every program's not for everyone. So if somebody gets on board, like I said, in that first week, you'll know if it's for you and stuff. And if not, you call them up and they've got a money back guarantee. So, but I've never seen it not work. So it's not going to be, if you follow the program, you will have success. No question about it. But not everybody is willing to, some people are willing to buy it, but still not willing to follow it. And if you don't, if you don't follow the program, if you decide, oh, I'm still going to have spaghetti with my family tonight, or I'm going to have the ice cream anyway, you know what? It's like, yeah, that's not going to work. It's not, you're not following the program. If you follow it, it's pretty exciting. I had one client, she started August the 13th. And this week she crossed the 100-pound loss mark, and she lost it faster. Her results are not typical, but she to the T, she's a woman that's doing all the food prep on Sunday night, and she knows exactly, she doesn't stray at all. She's totally do it. And it's been so exciting to see her changing and just how she feels and how she looks. So, it's pretty cool. But yeah, then you'll get the person that, they, for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter, whatever reason, they do stand behind it. And it's a company that's on the Forbes most trusted company list. So it's one of those things where it's solid, and the whole heart behind it from the top of our company down, it's all about helping people. We want people to get healthy. It's not about, do this big thing, buy this. No, it's not at all. It really is the heart to see people change and to see changes in their life. When I get a text from a woman that's, oh my gosh, I was just down on the floor playing with my children. I haven't been on the floor playing with my children for years. I usually sit in a chair and they're at my feet because she hurt so bad that getting up and down was hard. Or a person that's not having to ice their joints and take ibuprofen at night because all of a sudden she's eating and it's like the inflammation's gone down and she's feeling great. I had another guy that had migraines so bad, and his whole goal was to lose weight. But along the way, he's like, you know what? I'm not having the migraines like I usually have. So I said, again, there's no guarantees, but when you see the stuff all come together, our bodies, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you get the stuff going right, it just impacts an awful lot of areas. And I'm just like, what do you got to lose? Why not try this and see how you feel? And so that's kind of fun. Did that answer your question?
Yes, and the thing is, when you feel good inside, you want to impact that to other people's lives, right? And so if you, people who are watching and people who are going to watch this, you know, if you like this, what you're hearing, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. But here's the other thing is that, you know, you want to look good because, you know, looking good is our thing. And, you know, you also want to feel good, right? Because that feeling inside, and like Susan said, if you need to feel energetic. And if you're energetic, you know, life happens, it just transforms your life, right? So I've seen her before and after pictures. We'll put those up. And so, you know, go ahead and, you know, just make that change. And if you want to contact Susan, how do they contact you?
Well, if you're watching Facebook Live, just hop over and you can friend me on Facebook and connect that way to start connecting. And, you know, I'm glad they can email gethealthywithz@gmail.com. My last name is Zartman, so that's the Get Healthy with Z. But yeah, reach out, and glad to talk to anybody. And we're also looking for people, like you said, it's awesome to be able to help other people. So we're looking people that maybe you're looking for a new way to help other people. And so I'm having fun, you know, getting to train up some coaches. And for me, it's like I became a coach out of really selfish reasons, because I was told, if you're helping other people, you got about a 5-time greater chance of keeping the weight off. And I'm like, sign me up. I'm like, I'm not going back. And so I just started helping a few friends, and that was the whole goal. But you know what? You just don't realize the more you help people, you're the one that gets helped. So I learn something new all the time, and to be able to just celebrate with them and encourage them, it's such a blessing. So it's really fun.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you want to get healthy, lose weight in the process of getting healthy, hook up with Susan and learn a few things. If you're thinking of becoming a health coach and don't know where to start, you can always come to me, but she's got a niche ready for you. So go ahead and look her up. You know, you need that starting point, and we are right here to help you. If you like this video, again, share, like, subscribe, and, you know, look us up on another day for another episode of Munira's Musings, because it's how we impact lives with the niches that we found. And this is a gift from God to us, and why not just make it an infectious gift and have everybody have it, right? So thank you so much, Susan. I'm honored and humbled. Thank you again for being on my show. I loved having you as my guest. And for those people, take action. Let's just be healthy. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Munira.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group called Navigate to Your Niche.